New numbers show that many Canadians who rent their homes are still finding it hard to stay above water, even as the cost of renting has fallen. CTV's Karamali joins me now for more on this. Good morning, Kamil. So take us through some of these findings.
That's right, Renee. This report by LePage released this morning, and it really shows how affordability is playing a big role in renters choosing not to buy and waiting for housing prices to drop even further before they switch from being a renter to an owner. So they're waiting to pull the trigger. And this LePage survey surveyed about 1,800 people in the first week of June. And the first question that we want to focus on here is, what factors are driving your decision not to buy property in the near future? And more than half said, I don't think my income will allow me to buy a property in the neighborhood. Or sorry, we're looking at actually what factors are driving your decision to rent rather than buy property. About 40% said, I'm choosing to wait for property prices to decline. 29% said they're waiting until interest rates decrease further. So in both cases, the costs and the price playing a big role. And third on that list is, I'm planning to buy a property and continuing to rent allows me to save for a sufficient down payment. 28% saying that, and roughly a quarter saying that they couldn't qualify for mortgage or financing. Let's take a look at that second question now, which I touched on earlier. What factors are driving your decision not to buy property in the near future? And more than half saying, I don't think my income will allow me to buy a property in the neighborhood I want to live in. And tied at 40%, saying renting remains more affordable, and also I don't want to take on the responsibilities of maintaining a property. So some personal choices here in terms of location playing a factor in renters choosing not to buy right now. Let's take a look at one of the questions here as well that I found quite interesting. Have you had to make any of the following sacrifices in afford-to-order rent at this point? And about 40% saying they've had to reduce spending on groceries and food, so making sacrifices with meals there. And about 30% saying they had to reduce contributions to their savings and retirement, with roughly 20% saying that they had to take a second job or accumulate some sort of credit card or debt. Another question I want to focus on here is, which of the following policies do you believe could be the most effective in improving rental affordability? And more than half saying the cities that they live in needs to build more affordable housing units, and roughly half saying that increasing tenant protections against eviction and unfair rent increases would also be a great policy in improving rental affordability rather. So Renee, just giving you a snapshot here this morning on what factors are at play here in terms of why people continue to rent in Canada, what hurdles they're facing as well. And one big number that I was able to glean from this report is that more than half said that they do plan on buying property in the future here. 54% said yes, they will buy property in the future, with about 20% saying that they plan to buy a home in about 2 to 5 years, Renee.
Some alarming and scary numbers there, Kamil. Thank you very much for this. That is CTV's Karamali reporting.